And I was talking to my own godchild this morning and said, these women are the women we're going to read about, and that your children will always read about. Wow, she always makes me cry.
You see, all dreaming is imagining without limits. And this idea just started as a whisper in my ear that I tried to ignore until it was like someone was screaming in my head, make this film. I'll have the opportunity to actually see the film very soon. We're announcing a global watch party in solidarity with Lebanon happening on the 9th of April, which will give audiences around the world the chance to watch the film online in an exclusive virtual screening with live broadcast from Lebanon, where it will be premiering. This will be the first time in the world that such a synchronised event like this will happen, where we host the film on virtual screens across 11 time zones and then live stream from Lebanon to audiences around the world, the Q&A that we'll be having. It's going to be huge. And what I just explained to you there was a dream I envisioned. It started as a spark of an idea and then grew and grew and grew into this incredible, complex technological feat, requiring a huge array of skill and talent to bring it together. It was a simple idea, and I dared to expand and explore and imagine and ask, what if? And wouldn't it be great? And oh my God, if only. You see, all dreaming is imagining without limits. It is allowing your minds to fly with an idea and not stopping it before it reaches its natural conclusion. This is how I've lived my life, basically. And whilst I believe every single one of the women on this panel tonight are all unstoppable, it's the thing that drives me, that divine drive to just allow my ideas to reach their natural conclusion. Dreaming is imagining what could be possible. That's how I see it. It's the if. It's possible though, only if we have courage, and the courage to dare to make it come true. And I keep thinking about these words as I was listening to the women speaking before me, and all of them have had tremendous courage. Kerry's story particularly touched me deeply because of the emotional and personal impact it had on her, but I was so driven and compelled by her courage. And courage, as we've witnessed and we will witness through the rest of the stories and the anecdotes that we'll hear from the beautiful women that are on the panel tonight, is believing in your dream. And look at the outcome, look at the result, look at the exhilaration and triumph we all of us who dare to dream experience when we fulfill that hope, that belief, that dream. The title of my film, before it was Enough, Lebanon's Darkest Hour, originally was The Dream is Everything. Yes, I kid you not, and I'm sure Judy can attest to that. And let me explain why. When I first started making the film, I had no idea what the title would be because I really wasn't sure what the story was. And as Josephine said, I didn't know the context. I just knew I had to pursue something. And without a context, stories don't make sense. The idea to make the film came out of nowhere. At the worst time in my life, when I was most stressed, the most stressed I'd ever been. I had personal problems, I had marital problems, I had financial problems, I had business problems, you name it. And this idea just started as a whisper in my ear that I tried to ignore. I tried to shut down, but over the next 12 months, it grew louder and more persistent and more annoying until it was like someone was screaming in my head, make this film. As I said, I had no idea what the story was, but it was clear to me that a higher power, far more powerful than me, wanted this story to be told. And I had been chosen as a messenger. So I said okay, and got to work reorganising my life to be able to tell this story. Now, I'm not going to go into step by step into what happened. We don't have time for that. But suffice to say that if I continue to ignore my inner voice, which is the voice of truth that is within all of us, this story would never have been told, and Lebanon and the catastrophic Lebanese story would continue to go untold. But as I mentioned earlier, this film was originally called The Dream is Everything because early on in the story, in 2017, 2018, 2019, even up to 2020, there was a dream that the people aspired to. But then on that fateful day, on August 4th, 2020, when the Beirut port exploded, so too did their dreams, and so too my title. But how could I release a film called The Dream is Everything when such a monumental disaster had been visited upon these people? No, there was no dream. The dream went up in smoke, along with 2,700 tonnes of ammonium nitrate, killing 229 angels, injuring thousands, and destroying the homes of 300,000 people. The only title that kept whirling around in my mind as I was writing and rewriting and re-editing the film was enough, enough, enough. This was our darkest hour. And then I realised this was the story I was meant to tell. This was a dream I had dared to dream. Not all dreams are fairy tales, and not all dreams end with a happy ending. But all dreams have a meaning and a purpose, and I had been called upon to deliver the hardest and harshest message and showcase it to the world so they could truly understand the plight of a tiny nation and the suffering of its poor citizens, in the hope that it might stir, agitate, and mobilise millions around the world to step up and speak up for Lebanon in its darkest hour. Thank you.
Daisy, thank you so much. And thank God you didn't choose to ignore your inner voice, because it's become the voice of so many and the voice of so many to come after you. And I was talking to my own godchild this morning and said, these women are the women we're going to read about, and that your children will always read about. Wow, she always makes me cry. Thank you, Daisy, and thank you again for coming off the back of all the hard work that's gone before you.